All right, David Akubian here. I've been home from Montana now for a little under a week, but I promised I would come back and revisit some of the gear and stuff that I took out there and how it worked and how I feel about it now that I've had some time to spend with it out in the field. And what I want to do first is take a look at the Shimoda Explorer 40-liter bag. I've used a lot of backpacks and sling bags and everything else over the 20-something years I've been photographing, and I really honestly have to say this is the most comfortable backpack to hike with, carry gear with that I've ever used. I'm very, very impressed with it. You know, again, I did say there is a con. It is expensive, but again, you're paying for some quality there that I think is well worth it. Just to give you an idea of some of the things that I carried. First of all, what made it really super comfortable was on the backpack, you've got these an adjustable harness for your height and everything else, and it positions it on your torso. And I moved it down to the, I believe the mediums here. Yes, the medium height, the medium sized torso. And it kept it a little higher on my back. It kept it off my hips. If I wanted to use a belt, I could put that on and it would help a little bit. But I was sort of thinking, I didn't know how these straps would work because they're just an odd shape, but let me tell you, they're perfect. You know, just going out and hiking because we're moving around a good bit, just simply clasp that front latch together, the front little harnesses together. Phenomenal. There was a couple times that I carried the Osmo Pocket in the little pocket up front. You know, there's just a lot of things. You can have a little cell phone or something here. It was extremely convenient and very, very handy, and that to me was phenomenal. So in the top area up here, I've still got some junk in here. You know, I carried some things like filters. I carried, you know, besides the 3 filters that I carried, I did have the case that the Osmo Pocket was in. I carried a small tripod for vlogging and everything else in there, just a little tabletop tripod. And I carried like cleaning cloths and everything else in there. And they fit perfect. You know, it was nice to have it. There was a little bit of time. There were times that was, you know, too much. I didn't need all that room. But, you know, it's better to have that room and not need it than not have the room and need it. So, you know, you see there's, like I said, there's this big pouch up top here. Then, you know, honestly, there's a couple of the pouches in here that I haven't quite figured out what they do. It's access for something, but I haven't quite figured that out. I have to play with it some more. On the side, there is that compartment for carrying a tripod. And I carried a smaller tripod in there almost the entire time. And I carried the larger tripod on 1 or 2 of the hikes. We hiked 3 or 4 or 5 times, I can't remember. But it came in handy that if I didn't want to have the tripod in my hand, you know, I took a page out of Nick Page's book and put it in upside down, so it kept the weight lower on my hip and everything else. It was really just super convenient. And when I was traveling, especially when we got on the commuter plane, the small CRJ 200, everything folded away pretty nicely and was very, very compact. So again, this bag fit easily into the overhead on the little commuter jet, which is very important because a lot of the places that I go, I do have to take those small planes. So everything was good. When I laid it down, this was great. You know, you can see it's a little bit dirty, but I've cleaned off most of it. When I got to the side of a river or at the base of a waterfall or whatever, I laid it down so the front of the bag, the part farthest from my body, was facing the ground. And when I would access my cameras, close it up, put it on my back, I didn't have to worry about getting dirt on me because this was never touching the ground. So that was great to have that ability. So just to give you an idea of what I carried while I was there, and this is how, this is still the same stuff that's in there. I'm headed out to the Oregon coast here in a couple weeks for a workshop with the out of Oregon, out of Chicago people. And I'll carry almost the same stuff, maybe vary it just a little bit. But I carried the Sony a7R III with the 17-28 attached. I left it attached almost the entire time because it was nice to be able to grab it and just shoot some stuff if I needed to, handheld on the side of the trail. I also carried the 17-28 in one of the compartments, and let me turn this up a little bit so you can see how everything fit in there very, very nicely. I carried a ton of extra cards, all the different cameras, different cards, the Bluetooth remote for the Sony system, as well as everybody needs ibuprofen, as well as corded remote releases as well for the Nikon Z systems and the Sony system as well. So I carried a pouch with plenty of extra batteries that fit in there nicely. I did carry two different systems because I wanted to have the ability, at this point in time, Tamron's longest lens is a 28-75 for the Sony FE mount. So there were times that I knew that I would want to shoot longer. There were times that I would want to do video, so I did carry the Z systems as well. I carried with me the Z6 and the Z7. Both of them with a little extended little grip on there just to make it more comfortable in my hand. Because that's one thing, you know, that little bit of a quarter to a half an inch, I guess more of a half inch, really fits my hand a lot better. So I ordered those off of Amazon. I'll try to make sure that I include a link or something to show you. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that, but I'll go ahead and I'll try to put something in the comments if I remember to do that. This time I carried two FTZ adapters. I don't know if I will do that for the Oregon coast with L brackets attached. And part of it was because I was thinking I would be doing some video with the Z6 while I was shooting with the Z7. Honestly, we were so pressed for time a lot of times that we were just trying to do as much as we could, scout as much as we could. We didn't get to do near the amount of video we had initially hoped to do. But two of the FTZ adapters, and the lenses for the Z system, the Tamron 17-35 DI OSD, and the Tamron 35-150 DI VC OSD as well. So you can see once I get everything out of there, there's a lot of space in that bag, and that's a lot of gear. That's a ton of gear to be carrying in a bag like this. And at no time did I feel the stress or the weight of that gear on my back or on my shoulders. Like I said, this is the most comfortable bag that I've ever put on my back before. And I've used, you know, I'm not going to go through all the brands and stuff. I mean, but just a few low pro. I've used Mindshift. I've used Think Tank. I've used Sundog. I've used a bunch of bags, and they're all pretty comfortable, but they've never been this comfortable. You know, the venting system on the back did keep my back a little bit cool, because when we would start hiking, you may start out in 50-degree weather, but you're hiking up a hill, you start to feel it pretty quick, and I never got to a situation where my back was soaked or anything like that. The belt I never really did use because I didn't feel the weight on my shoulders. If I was carrying a longer lens in there, I probably would have gone ahead and fastened the belt up as well to put some weight on my hips versus just simply on my shoulders. But this trip, this stuff here, the camera bag without the support of the belt was good. So again, I'm super impressed with the Shimoda Explorer. I'm probably going to pick up a 30-liter bag as well. And the reason being is the inserts that you can get. This is the large insert. They come in 3 different sizes. A large, then a medium, which is about from here over. And then you've got a small, which is from here over, which is like long enough for a long lens or something. With the 30, I've decided that on some of the trips that I'm just going to be carrying Sony's or the Nikon System 1 or the other, it'll be nice just to be able to put it in that little medium pouch here, and then if I'm carrying a jacket, a rain jacket, something like that, I can toss it into there, or I could put my video camera into here and then use the top compartment for the jacket, or vice versa. So there are times that I don't need all the space. That's when I'm going to put a smaller compartment in there and have the extra space in there. The 30 is the same, except for the top area is a little bit smaller, 10 liters smaller between the two. This large compartment does fit in there. The ICU is what they're called. Oh, and I did carry just when I got up there, I had the laptop in this particular space. Once I got there, I took it out and just left it in the hotel room. No need to carry it on hikes with me and everything else, but even with the laptop in there, it wasn't that heavy. So again, I think it's a great bag. Some of the guys that do more video and stuff, they will carry the 60L, which has even more space up top to put jackets and some other things. At this point in time, I think I'm perfect with the 40. I think I do want to get the 30 though, so I have the ability to downsize it just a little bit on the top and keep stuff in the compartment when I'm just simply doing even a shorter hike. And one thing about the 30 versus the 40, if I'm not going to be using the belt, sometimes, you know, they can get in the way on any camera bag. The 30L, you can take the belt off. So that's a neat little feature too, that if I'm going to be in a very confined space, it's nice to have that as well. So again, best bag I've ever carried. The upsides to it are phenomenal. The downsides to it, you know, it's expensive, but it's not that expensive. You know, I still think that when you look at everything you get in this bag, the construction of the bag, the weatherproofing zippers and everything else, the tripod compartments, you compare feature for feature and it's no more expensive than any of the other bags. The difference is the quality of the build, the durability and everything else is there. You know, I've got no problem spending that money on a bag like this because I know it's going to last me a long time. And believe me, I had it down in the mud. I had it down on rocks. I was dragging it all over the place. And you can see that, I mean, it cleaned up extremely easily. It looks brand new still. So if you're looking for a bag, do yourself a favor, check it out. Check out the Shimoda Explorer series, whether it's the 30, the 40, or the 60-liter bags. And then sort of look at the equipment that you'll be carrying to dictate which insert that you want. If you're going to be doing video and photography, I think the 40 or the 60 is better. If you're simply going to be doing photography and maybe carrying like an Osmo Pocket or an Action or one of the GoPros or something like that, I still think that the 30 or the 40 would work for you. But the 40 is going to give you a little more room, which this is. This is my go-to bag now. I just think that it's perfect. It's got a metal frame. Everything about it was super comfortable. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you can, subscribe to my video channel, please. And if you click the little bell, you'll get notifications whenever I release a new video. Again, all that stuff's important for us folks that are trying to get content out there so we get seen by more people and we can get the good word out there. So until next time, thank you again for viewing the video, and I'll see you soon.